Nice, nice, nice. We got it. Wonder if we can share. I wonder if we can share this stream. Let's see how. Oh, right here, look. Ooh, ooh. Let's see how can we share this. Mm, mm, mm,
Mm-mm.
mm.
Mm.
What? Give us some lowdown. What's going on for the week, dude? What's up? What you been up to, man?
We've been working out, so they should check out our TikTok. What did you do this past week? Where were
Uh,
you at?
Shoot. You know what, man? I honestly Saturday was it Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Man, I tried out this new barbecue pit that I got. Um, I wasn't. I'm not like a like I'm like I used to barbecue a lot, like with mesquite and all that stuff. And then I kind of got introduced to like the propane. So I was doing propane for a long time, and then for some reason I've been wanting to get a barbecue pit, dude. And so we came across this barbecue pit, and I was fortunate enough to kind of the guy was like, yeah, you want it, you can have it, you know. So gave us this sweet ass barbecue pit, and I tried it out Saturday, and man, I just don't like the smoke, the after smoke.
What do you mean?
Like you smoke something and it gets in your clothes.
Oh yeah.
It get like you warm with the food. Like let's say you said like I like to meal prep, so like like Elaine was saying, like I warm with that food and like I smell like barbecue now.
Yeah.
Like so the smell like it doesn't go away that easy. So you're just kind of lingering with this.
It's like cigarettes.
It's like cigarettes, dude. Like, but I mean, it's cool. I've been wanting to smoke a brisket. I've been wanting to do that. So I'm excited. I'll be doing that pretty soon. You know what I mean?
Stan the pit master.
The pit master. Maybe we'll have some some competitions. Maybe we'll do some competitions. Let me get this up. See if we get some guys on there. So I appreciate everybody that's kind of joining in on this, and we're working the bugs out on this thing. We're looking to make sure that we can share this on YouTube, uh, Facebook, maybe eventually Instagram,
TikTok maybe.
TikTok, maybe. Yeah, would be good. TikTok. So we're trying to just play around with all the different streaming thing and seeing how we can link everything back up. Right now, we're doing everything on YouTube, and I'm sharing the link out to a couple people to see if they want to join in. But the chat's always open. I would say if you're gonna join on the chat, definitely do it on the YouTube, because if we're live, so we can actually see chats that come in, which is pretty cool. If people have questions, we can help dive into that question. But but the purpose of the Massive Action Podcast is really to help technicians that are auto body technicians or mechanic technicians. Really, you know what? A lot of the principles that I share apply to anybody that's in a vocational trade. So if you're a carpenter, a plumber, electrician, uh, roofer, any vocational trades, a hairstylist, nail stylist, like anything that you're self-employed, a lot of the principles apply to that, because if you're in the body shop industry, you are commission based, so you're kind of like your own boss. Like you kind of have the freedom to work as much hours as you want and make as much money as you want. So there's not no cap on that. No cap. We should make a button, no cap. But let me share this one more time. What did you do this weekend, dude? You said you were gonna go fishing.
I didn't end up going fishing. Just ran errands and stuff like that.
Got it. So let me ask you this. So like you've been with us for a while now, uh, at Certified Collision Works. What is your kind of uh what has been your experience seeing like the accidents and like the process, and like all that stuff? What has been your kind of experience?
Uh, a lot more goes into it than you might think. It's not
Yeah,
just taking pictures of the outside and then sending it off to the insurance company.
yeah,
You guys actually have to take it apart and look at everything, and then knowing the difference between the materials and how they would react to. If you
yeah,
guys should just replace them or rebuild them.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it technicians like technicians. I don't think technicians get enough credit. Like, uh, I don't think technicians get enough credit, but I don't think technicians also give themselves enough credit for what they're capable of accomplishing. And one thing that I always share with technicians that we have a lot of apprentices that start with us, right? And I always tell them like, uh, you know, like pay attention to who's leading, right? Because like if you don't pay attention to who's leading, you're gonna spend 5 years and you're gonna be in the same spot that you were. So you always want to see like what the leader is doing, and what I mean by that is like, uh, most people don't do that. They don't look at their boss or whoever's leading the company and says, okay, like is this guy like really like taking care of himself? Is he really like disciplined? Is he really trying to grow his mindset? Is he really trying to grow the company? Is he really trying to do bigger things? Is he really like willing to like take these risks? Because like the thing is that means that once this company grows, like you're gonna elevate with that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of technicians, what they fail to do is they fail to look at the owner and say, okay, you know what? Like, is this owner someone that I want to work with? Is this someone that I want to follow? Is this does this person have the good characteristics? Does he have the values? Is he disciplined? Is he kind of shady? Is he like what is he kind of like? What's his deal? You know what I mean? Uh, because a lot of technicians they'll be somewhere for a long time, and they'll be like 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, and the owner's like, hey man, like we're closing down the business, or I sold the business, and I'm going to Hawaii, or I'm going to Cancun, and or I'm retiring, and they're like, well, what about me? Well, I sold the company to this guy. They're gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? They just handed you off, and so you're like, man, like I don't know if I want to stay here. Like, what do I do? So now you're having to kind of think about, okay, now you're a lot older. Okay, now you probably have more responsibilities. So now you're like, man, like now I got to transition again. I got to go start somewhere else. I got to meet new people. So always look to see kind of like who the captain is of the ship, and making sure that's the ship you want to be on. Or we keep getting out of focus or what?
That's when you went like, see,
Take it out of autofocus then. I mean, I don't think you have to have it on autofocus. We're not like once it gets that's off autofocus.
yeah,
Okay, so we
I
should be
think
good
so.
there.
Should be.
Yeah, that's why I say we need to get that boom and stuff. The production grid,
The crane arm.
crane arm. But I mean, see who's leading the ship. Like take some time and say, okay, like is this the ship that I want to be on? Where is this ship going? Is this the ship that I really want to be part of? Do I have potential of running this ship one day? Do I have the potential of maybe us having two ships where I'm running one and this company's still running one? You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Yeah, have you ever seen the Kmart ad where they're like, "I shipped my pants"? That's what you sound like right
no,
now.
I didn't even know Kmart was still around.
No, this was 12 years
Oh,
ago.
okay. No, I didn't know that.
Oh, they're still around in Australia though.
What the
Over there is like Walmart.
man? So yeah, so ship your pants. You know what I mean? Like just figure out you know, s- figure out who's leading the ship, and if it's not the right ship that to be on, then maybe it's time for you to exit. Don't be a chicken.
Yeah, so you're talking about a growth mindset. How do you more develop that?
So that's a good question. Growth mindset. what does that mean, right? What does it mean to have a growth mindset? Uh, so a lot of times we get stuck in being like judging people, right? So people have this. You're not now that I'm gonna mention something. You're gonna say, oh, you know what? That makes sense. Uh, it's called a judging filter. Okay, what that is like whenever someone sees someone, they look at how they're dressed, they look at how they talk, maybe how they act, right? What do they smell like? And so based on those quick little things, they judge them on who they are. Oh, this person doesn't have nice shoes. He smells. He's probably broke,
Mm-hmm.
or he's not. He doesn't have no. He's not valuable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's being a judger mindset. And so whenever you have this judger mindset, it blocks you off from having a growth mindset. So they did this study, right, where they had these two. There were two NBA players, and they were both like world class badass players, right? And so they got one player. They put both players in two gyms, right? One gym was a brand new renovated gym, and one gym was an old gym, right? The one gym had like the LED lighting, and it had like the fancy backboards, and it had the lighting, like the decals, and the floor was all custom, whatever, right? And then you had the other one that looked like a old school, like a high school basketball gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some bleachers, maybe it had those big ass bright ass lights, right? And so, uh, and they put people in there and said, okay, you know what? They didn't tell them what they were doing. They said, okay, we want you to go observe this basketball player and tell us if you think they're NBA worthy, right? And so these people went in there, and all of them judged the guy at the newer gym, right? And so, see, the people were going based off the environment, not based off of the player. So when they went in there, like, oh, this gym's running down. This guy's probably not good. Like, why are we here?
Mm-hmm.
So they quickly judged that instead of saying, you know what, well, this guy is actually pretty good. I wonder how he would perform if they put him in a better gym. Maybe the gym is the problem here, not the guy. You know what I'm saying? So taking that step back and like looking at the big picture and asking these questions. Okay, is it really the guy, or is it really the environment, or is it like, am I missing something, or what can I learn from this? Right? So because you can learn something from everybody, even a homeless dude, you can learn something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a story that you can learn from. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so you can always learn something from that person, right? So having a learner mindset or having a growth mindset is about not being a judger and saying, you know what, like I'm gonna see what I can learn from this, and I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to learn, right? And so that's very important if you're a technician, because I've met some technicians that they say, I've been doing this for, I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been doing it for the 20 years. Okay. And I said, well, when's the last time you took an iCar class? Or when's the last time you read a book? What are you studying right now? Or I'll go even further. I'll be like, hey, let me see your history on your YouTube. Right. And a lot of it is like music videos.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is that's it. These music videos are like pictures of chicks, and so it's nothing of value. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can actually look, if you want to do a quick test on yourself, you go to your YouTube history and scroll down and say, okay, what information here is educational? What information here is adding value to my brain? It's making me smarter. It's giving me a different way of seeing things. It's giving me a different perspective. Okay, if the majority of your content is entertaining, then you're just being entertained. You're saying you're either being educated or you're either being entertained. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. Like, for example, our content won't get as much views as like a Migo video or like a Carly B video because we're not here to entertain. We're here to educate.
Yeah.
And so most people want to be entertained. So that's one way to quickly identify. Okay, you know what? Like, what does my history look like? Am I watching podcasts? Am I reading? Am I listening to audiobooks? Am I watching speeches? Am I watching technique videos? How-to videos? Am I learning this new skill? Am Because all that sharpens your skill. It's kind of like let's say you're on a clean, you're eating clean,
Hmm.
you're working out, but you're not taking vitamins. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it'll get the job done, but it'll probably take you longer. But so the videos and the YouTube is just like vitamins.
Hmm.
You're consuming those vitamins. It's just adding. So you're a technician. You're doing the hands-on. You're getting the vitamins, and maybe you're reading a book. Maybe you're reading magazines. So now you're just feeding yourself constantly, and there's only one thing that can happen from feeding information to yourself. Like, you can't get any dumber. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you can't get any dumber, but with educational information. But what can you get from entertainment information? Like, I don't know. I mean, what can you get from it?
Serotonin. That's about it.
Yeah, maybe like
You just get a little happy and then
yeah. It's like
it passes.
but I mean, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not giving you anything of like that you can apply.
Yeah.
An applied. Something that you can apply and actually increase your income with it. You know what I mean? So that's one way to identify. Having a judger mindset versus a learner mindset, or having a growth mindset. And like you were saying.
Um, you were talking about supplements and eating right and stuff, and they could check out our TikTok, Massive Action.
Massive Action
We're
TikTok.
always in the gym. What supplements do you take?
Uh, you know, um, I don't take a lot of supplements. I take vitamins. I'll take vitamins and I just kind of monitor. Uh, I get blood work done regularly. Because I was in the shop for a long time, and I was a painter for a long time. Uh, whenever I was doing custom painting, like, we didn't have a lot of the fancy suits, or we didn't have a lot of the stuff, so we just had like respirators, and we didn't really think about like having hair nets or full body suits or whatever. And a lot of the chemicals that we were spraying back then were House of Color. And they still have House of Color now, but House of Color is like one of the strongest paints out there. So whenever you're spraying, like, have you ever um let me see, what can I compare it to? Have you never painted a house, right? Like, with the
Yeah.
sprayer?
Yeah.
Okay, and what happens to your hairs?
You get like a little coating on it.
Yeah.
It's all like tacky.
It's on your eyebrows right here.
Yeah.
It's in your nose, right? Like, you blow your nose, you're like, dang.
Yeah, because I've seen they sell stuff to put in your nose.
Yeah.
You
Well, you're
pull-
supposed to wear a respirator, uh, but the candy paint is really thick, and it doesn't dry. It doesn't dry like house paint. Like, it takes a while to settle. So just imagine it being really like gummy on your skin, and so back then, like, I wasn't really like trying I didn't know about taking care of myself, right? So, like, I would probably be spraying, and my hair, my head will be exposed, and so whenever you're sweating and you're painting, your pores open up.
Yeah.
So you're opened up to all these chemicals. So your pores are open, the chemicals are sticking on you, and so they're almost like going into you're consuming all the chemicals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I just was like, man, I need to, like, a lot of my friends were dying. Like, a lot of people that I knew, older cats, were dying because they just got sick from the pain, and I was like, man, I want to get blood work done. I want to see what my body looks like, and basically getting the blood work done is like having your oil changed and your car looked at, having it like,
Just routine maintenance.
yeah, you're gonna go to dealership and get the 30-point inspection. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the same kind of concept. Like you go and you're gonna get the blood work done. They're gonna tell you what your everything's at. You know, and then you adjust your levels based on vitamins. You know, but if you expect to kind of grow, I mean, if you expect to, because look, you can either take care of your health and just let it decrease, or you can take care of your health and watch it increase, right? And so they did a study on when they say like men. So for example, if I ask you what's the a man's peak, like what's his peak, like when he's at his peak of his life, what
Like
would you say that is?
like when they're healthy and young.
Yeah, what's their peak? What age is that?
Um, late 20s, I would say.
Okay, so there's no such thing as a man's peak time. Okay, the thing is like you said 20, between 20 and 30, right?
Mhm.
So what happens between the 20 and 30? Okay, between 20 and 30, uh, they probably don't have kids yet,
Mhm.
right? They're probably still exercising. They're probably still having fun. They're probably still living this life. They're probably still like trying to find these chicks, and they're chasing chicks, and like so and maybe so they're going through that phase, right? Then they get a career, they find a job where they like, and so now they're like making money, and so now they're feeling good, they're making money, they still don't have no kids, they still don't have a chick yet, they still don't have no major responsibilities yet, right? 30s hit. Now you have a chick. Now you have a baby on the way, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like, man, I can't go play with the boys no more. I can't go ball up because we have to do this now, right? So your kid gets older, right? So now your kid's what? In sports,
Mhm.
school performances, homework, dinner, right? We need a new car. That means you got to work more. So it's not that you don't have that peak. It's just now you have all these other responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now you're unable to really take care of yourself like you should have.
Mhm.
So now it's not that you're not at your peak. It's just that you have so much stuff that you're trying to manage, and that your health and yourself comes last.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the goal is, and the way you do that is you say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna prioritize my health first. I'm gonna prioritize my time first. Then I'm gonna prioritize my career. You know what I'm saying? Like you start to prioritize things, so make sure that your health is right. Because look, the thing if you start taking care of your health at a young age, technician, is you're gonna be able to outlast the older guys.
Mhm.
That someone that's not taking care of the health. So for example, like look at who's in your space. For example, let's say one of your friends, right?
Mhm.
You've been working out every day.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, you know what? I need to get my meals right. I'm like you're starting to feel good. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna start to have more energy. Okay, and because you're working out, now you increase blood flow. You understand? So now you're starting to think sharper.
Mhm.
You're saying like you're more on point, like you're more prepared, you're getting ready, you know? And so now if you increase that, your your co-mate or your co-partner or whatever, whoever's in your same age bracket, they're not doing those same things, they're going to decrease.
Yeah.
So if they're making more money than you right now, but they're on a decrease and your health is on an increase, you're gonna outlast them.
Mhm.
So like, it makes sense. Like you're gonna eventually outlast them. You know. So health is gonna be a big deal, man. Like uh, you don't want to wait till it's you don't want to wait till like it's an emergency to start looking at your health. And most people wait till it's an emergency to say, man, I need to start working out. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my buddies today, like uh, he came by the office, and I was like, "Hey man, how you been?" You know, he's an overweight dude. I said, "How you been?" He's like, "Man, I just need to start working out." You know, and I was like, "Well, like, what do you like?" He's like, "I'm just like I'm tired. My body hurts, and so it's catching up to him now. But see, he's already probably like maybe 40 something. Now it's gonna be even harder
Yeah.
to kind of work that off. You know what I'm saying? So now he might not have the time to do a double workout. Like dude, I work out in the morning and I work out at lunchtime. Like and I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's because I keep that momentum going. But for someone that's already out of shape and they're fat and like they have bad eating habits, for them to get to that point, it's gonna take them a lot longer.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, if if you're kind of if you don't have stacks of money, like if you don't have stacks of money sitting around, like you gotta outwork people. If you're not as smart, I dropped out of ninth grade, dude. You know what I'm saying? Ninth grade with twin boys. So like everything that they were like, oh yeah, this guy has all the signs of not being successful.
Yeah.
Check, kids,
Mhm.
check. Mexican, check.
Yeah.
Tattoos, check. Dropout, check. Learning disability, check.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, no dad, check. Like live in the highest crime rate area, check. Does drugs, check. Drinks,
Mhm.
check. Like this guy, we count him out. Like these
Yeah.
guys don't have no chance of competing.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of people that they feel like they've been counted out. You know what I'm saying? Like and I'm here to tell you, like, you can count yourself in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't see, check this shit out. Like those people that counted you out, that wasn't based off any facts. It was just based off of their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So let me repeat that. Some people counted me out, but it wasn't based off any facts. It was just based off of their opinion.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so whenever I say, you know what, like, their opinion doesn't matter. Like, who are they to say that I can't do something?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are they? You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, like, if someone counts you out, ask them, say, who are you to count me out? Like, tell me who you are to count me out. Like, what authority do you have to count me out? Like, what makes you the decision maker of me making it or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no solid nothing there. So like all these people that are saying, like, oh, they're counted out. They're counted out. Like, they don't have to get counted out. We'll start over again. We'll make a new game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll make a new game.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even know what I was talking about, man. You got me off subject here. But the growth, I mean, the growth mindset, man. Like I said, having that growth mindset. I mean, some of the things, if I can share some of the things that kind of I did to kind of help me develop that growth mindset, right? I think that, what I've learned too is, like, you don't have to wait till like you're homeless and like no money,
Mm-hmm.
back against the wall to make a decision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was stubborn enough to have to get to that point
Mm-hmm.
where I was like, fuck, I need to do something. And I can, it's crazy because I can kind of remember the day that I made a decision,
Yeah.
and it was a day, dude, that I was like, I had to move back to my mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
I had 3 kids. I think I had 4 kids because I had the 2 twins, my daughter, and then Joseph, right? That's 4 kids, dude. Joseph was maybe like 2 years old or 1, crazy, right? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, we were like in this small ass room, with a twin bed right here and then a full size here, and we're all like staying there. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? Like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I need to get my shit together. Like, I need to fucking do this. And I was like, today's the lowest day of my life. I wrote it down. I was like, today's like the lowest day of my life. I'll never be in this situation again. And like from that day, I was like, so I'm just gonna get on this grind and like hustle and so I just did. I just make sure that I showed up to work. I showed up. That's when I first started the company.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna show up every day. Like, I'm just gonna show up every day because I just knew that if you're open every day, like if people know you're gonna be there at 8 to 5 every day, then they know you're gonna be open for business.
Yeah.
So if I was like off, like if I would show up at 12 and then I'll be whatever, like they're like, man, like this guy's like hit or miss. He's not kind of dependable. So I knew that I had to be consistent with that. And being consistent with that, even on Saturdays, so I'll work Saturdays. I would just show up to office on Saturdays, and dude, like I'll be like, man, today like something's gonna happen today. I already know it. Like
Hmm.
I'll just hype myself up, dude. I'll be like, nah, today something's gonna happen today. I just feel it, and I've always like had this thing about like it's weird. I didn't know back then what it was. It was just like manifesting. Like I would just something's gonna happen today. Like I already know it. Like I'll
Hmm.
get all hyped up, right? And like sure enough, someone will come like, hey man, I got one of your cars. I want to get my ride done, and like it would turn out to be like a good job. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, I knew something was gonna happen today. You know what I mean? And I just always had this positive mindset, even though that I was in a bad spot. I was like, nah, you know what? It's gonna get better. Tomorrow's another day. It's gonna get better tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I don't know what we were talking about, but I kind of went off subject there.
Yeah. Let's get back on subject. You mentioned when you're growing, you gotta like learn, improve your skills.
Yeah.
Um, how do you maximize your earnings through enhancing your skills? Maybe doing some more courses,
You have more
new
water?
techniques. Yeah.
You have another Red Bull or what?
No.
Hey, do you want? There's a bang in the fridge over there. Let me get it.
I guess I never been inside the house.
Go for it.
You still want water?
Yeah, give me water too. He's gonna go get some drinks real quick. Damn. But man, the Massive Action Podcast. It's really about this sharing some experiences, and hopefully it'll help y'all transition to a better place. I'm gonna use this time real quick to share this with some of our associates. But I do encourage you to ask any questions, man. If you're following us on on YouTube, there is a place where you can put there is a place you can put in the chat. Let me see.
Got you your drink you requested.
Ah, dude.
You said you're gonna finish that off this episode.
Damn. Coors Light. Coors Light. I'm sorry to cut you off, dude. What was your question?
um, since we were talking about improving your skills, learning, uh, how do you maximize your earnings through learning new skills, maybe taking courses, some new techniques?
Oh, that's a good question. Like, so check this out. So most let me just drop this real quick. Hope it doesn't kick us off. I'm sorry. What was your question again, Aaron?
Um, when you learn new stuff, you're improving your skills. Maybe you took some courses, you learn a new technique.
Mhm.
How do you put that to maximize your earnings?
So okay, so basically, so the way so we live in a marketplace, right? Okay, so for example, Everything is based off of skill, right? And so, for example, let's say I want someone to I'm gonna open a restaurant and I need someone to make hamburgers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what skill is required to make a hamburger, right? Like you can train someone to hey be behind the grill every 10 minutes, flip it,
Hmm.
right? Uh if it cook it 15 or 12 minutes or whatever, that's gonna be medium or whatever, right? You can say
Yeah.
put a timer, so right. So how much skill is required to do that job?
Not a lot.
Okay, not a lot. So when there's a skill, I mean, when there's a job that doesn't require a lot of skill, then it becomes a commodity.
Hmm.
So, for example, if I'm looking for someone to cook burgers for me, right? Okay, how many people do you think I can find to fill that position?
A lot.
Okay, so because there's a lot, now I can say, okay, well, I'm only going to pay this much amount because their skill limits how much they can make. So now they're
Yeah.
competing for the job. So if I say, hey, I can only pay $10 for this job. I can only pay $15 for this job, right? And three guys are like, man, I want it, I want it, I want it, right? Now they're competing for the job, but now one of them says, you know what? I'll do it for 13. All right, come on.
Yeah.
See, so he had to lower his value to get the job because he had no skills,
Yeah.
right? But let's just say I want to open a restaurant again, like a hamburger place. But I say, you know what? Like, I want my restaurant. I want my restaurant to have. Oh shoot! I want my restaurant to have some of the best unique burgers.
Yeah.
Right? I want them to be handmade every day. That means I need someone to manage the kitchen. I need an expert
Hmm.
to go buy the beef, to make sure it's the right marble, like it's the right mixture, right? I want them to make sure that we have, Wagyu, we have Kobe, we have Prime, like right? Okay. So now that person needs a qualified person with skill.
Yeah.
So someone had to put in the time to learn the different kind of meats.
Hmm.
You have to put in the time to figure out, okay, what flavors go with what.
Yeah.
You understand? So now that's not so much a commodity. It's more like a he's an expert.
Yeah.
You're saying? So how much would you pay for that guy?
25.
25. Well, you know what? Hey, I have 10 years experience in this. Not only I have 10 years experience, but I actually teach at the university culinary class. So I actually teach a group of 30 people. Matter of fact, also too, I'm known as the industry expert in making burgers. So they actually fly me to Vegas every time they want a special burger made. So you want to pay me 25? The minimum I can do is 50. But I tell you what, for $50, I'll take over this kitchen for you. I'll make sure that you have one of the best unique burgers.
Hmm.
I'll make sure this restaurant stands out above the rest. I'll make sure that we stay on top of the game.
Yeah.
You see what I did? Now you're not gonna pay. Like I'm telling you what I want
Yeah.
because now I have the skill. Okay, so that's how skill works. That's how information works. Okay, so in order to make more money, you have to acquire new skills to solve people's problem.
Hmm.
Because see, people pay to solve a problem for you. You need your grass cut, right? That's
Yeah.
the problem. Who's gonna cut the grass? The lawn guy.
Hmm.
He has the skill to cut the grass, so he solves that problem. But because he's a commodity, you can negotiate that price. But the more specialized the problem is, the more niche it is, the more you get compensated.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how the game works. So the target is, if you're trying to elevate your game, you're saying, okay, I'm a technician, but I want to make more money. I want to earn more money. Okay, well, what's your skill level at? Like let's do a personal audit and say, okay, like when's the last time I did an online training? When's the last time I went to a seminar? When's the last time I got with some other people that are at that are different level than me, that are better than me? When have I done that? Oh, well, I haven't done that in several years. Well, you gotta elevate your game. Okay. With technicians, look, what I tell a lot of technicians is like, you can go on iCar.com, you can go to 3M.com, you can go to any of these platforms and you can get additional education. Like you don't have to wait for someone to pay for your iCar class. Go pay for that shit yourself, right? Get
Yeah.
those certificates. Now you actually are invested in it. You learn it, you understand it, and now you become more of an expert. More of like there's people that okay, a lot of technicians what they'll do is they'll get into the industry and they'll dabble with it. Okay? They'll dabble with it. What that means is like they're in it, but they're only in it during work hours.
Hmm.
Okay? And so the average technician will only work maybe 4 hours a day. Like serious deep work.
Yeah.
Right? The other time they're just fucking off. Like they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this. It technically like 4 or 5 hours, their heads in the game. Like, and that's usually in the morning from like maybe 9 to let's say 11:30, right? Because they're ready to go to lunch at 11:30.
Yeah.
So from 9, 10, 11, that's 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So you're only in it for 3 hours mentally, where you're like engaged, unless you get back in it after lunch. But a lot of times when you come back after lunch, if your health is not right, you're already on a decline
Yeah.
because you ate a big lunch.
You're
Your
feeling all
your insulin
sluggish.
spikes.
Yeah.
You get tired. Like your energy level's not going because your energy levels know you're foggy.
Yeah.
You're mentally foggy, so you're like, man, I don't even feel like coming back to work. That's why a lot of technicians, when they go eat for lunch, they eat this heavy. It spikes their blood sugar, spikes their insulin. They come back. They're not really, they're not able to produce because their body's like dragging and they're like, oh, like
Yeah.
they're man. And so now if you're a technician, like saying, okay, you know what, I want to get my shot. I want to be the shop foreman. I want to look at what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is not on point. So if you're meal prepping, if maybe at lunchtime you're going to the gym, you do a little bit of cardio, you're coming back, like it's crazy because you can actually go to the gym for lunchtime, do cardio, take a shower, come back, and you'll have more energy.
Yeah.
You'll have more energy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Huh?
Hmm?
Oh.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Um. Let's see. So how do you go from a technician to a business owner?
There's gonna be how do you go from a technician to an owner, right? Okay, so most technicians that have been doing it for a long time, they 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 assume that, you know what, I've been doing this for a long time, I can do it myself. Like I don't know why, they'll be like, I don't know why, I'm only getting paid $23 an hour. The shop's making 60. Like if I go on my own, I can make the $60 an hour. You know, that's what they're thinking, right? And but in reality, like they're not like what happens when a technician tries to go on his own without the right guidance or without the right shift in mindset, they go into like a world of mess because not only are they having to do the work now, but they're having to manage the business. They're having to pay the bills. They're having to deal with customers. So what they did was they went from doing one job as being a technician to doing 10 jobs,
Yeah.
that they're not qualified for. Remember, they fix cars. They don't they don't
They don't talk to
they don't
people.
talk to people. They don't deal with insurance companies. They're not computer savvy. Like they don't, sell skills. How do you fill out a contract? How do you negotiate vendors? How do you set up credit lines? Like it's how do you market?
Yeah.
How do you build a brand? Like, dude, like they're like, what the hell did I get up? What did I sign up for? Like, this is not what I thought it was gonna be like.
Hmm.
Running a company, it requires a lot of different hats. And what I mean by that is like, you know, you have to put different hats on. Sometimes you have to be, the manager. Sometimes you have to play the role of the owner. Sometimes you have to be a technician and help the guys or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's several roles that you have to go through. So to answer your question, a technician is going to go from a technician to management to owner.
Mm-hmm.
And so like a technician does the work. Like he knows how to paint, he knows how to do the body work, he knows how to weld. He's a doer. Okay. The manager is more of an organizer. Okay. The manager says, okay, you know what? Let me manage these 5 guys and make sure they have the thing they need to keep going.
Yeah.
So the manager keeps the machine running. Okay. Technicians are just components within the machine. The manager actually keeps the machine going, right? He makes sure that this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? If it's 1, 3, 4, then he's like, oh, hold on real quick. It's supposed to be 1, 2, 3. So he gets everything back in order, right? That's the job of a manager. But the manager, see, what people don't realize is that you have to develop skills. So just like technicians have to develop welding skills, a manager has to develop management skills.
Yeah.
Okay, time management, communication skills, data entry skills. Like, you know, there's skills that are involved. Sales skills. If you're having to sell, negotiation skills. How are you gonna hire people? Like, how are you gonna fire people? How are you gonna recruit? How are you gonna compensation? Like, you have to figure out all these. You have to be able to manage all that stuff. Control the data. What's the data look like? Because managers they manage the data, okay? Because the data gives them numbers, and it gives them an idea where the business is at. You know what I'm saying? So you go from technician to manager to owner, right? The owner's job is to keep growing the business,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that we're building new partnerships, that we're branching out to different regions, and we're partnering over here, we're acquiring this, we're developing this system, we're doing, so it's innovation. Owners focus on innovation. What's a new marketing strategy? Who can I work with marketing that can take us to the next level? What does our online presence look like? How are we going to improve that? Like, they're working on a lot of the back end stuff that really technicians don't see.
Yeah.
Right. Banking relationships. Okay, how do we leverage this to be in a position over here later? So you have to make sure that you can build those relationships. Banking relationships are going to be very powerful if you're trying to grow a company. Technicians don't have the time to go do that because they have to be doing they have to be doing the work. So I meet with a lot of technicians, and we get on a lot of calls. And one of the main problems they have is like, dude, I can't seem to get nothing done because I start this and then someone comes. I have to do this and I have to do this, right? It's because the only way that you can transition healthy is without hiring a manager and without hiring an owner, CEO, whatever, is to block out. It's called time blocking. Okay, write this down. It's called time blocking, where you say, okay, from 8 to this, I'm gonna do this. From this to this, I'm gonna do this. From this to this, I'm gonna do this. And so you block off this time and you focus just on those tasks. So as a technician transitioning to be an owner, the goal is to say, okay, you know what? I got a time block for technical work. Okay, that's doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
I got a time block for management work. That's making the files, invoicing, ordering parts, or whatever. That's the management work. And then I got to block off time for owner work. Okay, that means going and build relationships, vendors, fleet accounts, or whatever. Right. A cool thing that I used to do back in the day was I had to wear all these hats, and I wanted it so bad. I was like, dude, how am I gonna like? And so what I would do is I would go to the office in the morning, right? And I would do like luncheons, or I would do like lunch meetings,
Yeah.
or I would go to networking events, right, in lunchtime or in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would change clothes. So for example, like if I had a networking event during lunch, because I knew I was gonna promote my business, that's how the owner work, right?
Yeah.
I would change. I would go to that, and I'll come back and I'll put my work clothes back on. And so I would always change. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's gonna work. So Even if I would go to evening mixers, I would like I would change clothes. I would change, get dressed up, and then I'll be ready to go. And so it got to the point where I was just like dressing up to work, and I said I need to start finding people to help me.
Yeah.
And so Dan Sullivan has a good book. It's right there. It's called Who Not How, and I highly recommend that book. It's by Dan Sullivan, and basically what he says is like as a technician, we're always asking ourselves how,
Mm-hmm.
like how am I going to fix this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to do this? Right? But as an owner, instead of saying how, you're going to ask what?
Who?
Who? So who can fix this?
Yeah.
Who can build the website? Who can? So now what you're doing is you're not trying to figure out how to do all this stuff by yourself. You're trying to find the who's.
You're building your team.
You're building your team out. So by answering that question, okay, for example, like let's say you want to open a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna ask yourself, okay, how am I gonna open a business? Google, how do I open a business? YouTube, how do I open a business? How do I right? Okay, but if you say, okay, who can help me open a business?
Yeah.
You see, how much time are you gonna save? You're gonna save 10 years.
Yeah.
Because see, I'm the stupid one because I would always ask how.
Mm-hmm.
How am I gonna grow my business? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna okay, let me figure out, let me read it. So I read hundreds of books, and I figured out how to do it, and I'm like, oh shit, I should have just said who.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But what's crazy is like I love information. Like I consume information like because the thing with information is like it's it's like the best way to describe it is like and tell me, and if you tell me you haven't done this, I want to see your line. Right? It's late at night, right? You're in your bed, right? And you watch something like a conspiracy video. And you're like, what did he mean? So then you go in this rabbit hole,
Yeah.
right? So information's the same way. Like whenever you, for example, when I said who, not how, you're like, oh shit, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it puts you on this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know more about it, right? And so how do you find the who's? So you go in this rabbit hole. Some people don't like information. I love information. I mean, I love just learning about things. I love like educating things. I love sharing things because I'm like, dude, like no one like everybody's kind of scared to share game. I'll share game like because I want to see motherfuckers like make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I root for the underdog like because I was the underdog. So whenever someone's like an underdog, I'm like, dude, like pick your ass up. Let me show you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be good. Like, dude, like you're like you have you're in a good spot, bro. Like, I meet a lot of technicians. I hate to get off subject, but I meet a lot of technicians that they're making a lot of money, and they're like, man, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm comfortable. I'm like, dude, like you have so much. Like, you're a painter. You make good money, and like you're not building any wealth.
Yeah.
What's wealth? Well, let me show you. Let me show you what the possibilities are. Let me show you what you can do with that paint gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The first paint gun I got was a Sata 95, a green one. Right? Whenever I got a hold of that gun, dude, it was game over. Like, dude, like game over. I mean, that gun has made me like a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? Because it just built the momentum. It kept like it. Once I got it, I was like, boom, this is it. Boom, this is all. Like,
Yeah.
that was it. And it just opened up so many doors. But if it wasn't for information, I would have been stuck, still holding that gun. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I would have been stuck still holding that and thinking that was it. But I don't know, like it just like something I've always been one to like um I've always been one to like think bigger, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always been one to like think like bigger. Okay, what about this? What about this? Like what's And so one of the craziest things that happened to me was uh so there's a car show called the Texas Heat Wave, right? It's one of the biggest car shows in Texas, right? Uh, and there's also the lowrider show in Vegas, Super Show, lowrider Super Show.
Yeah.
So when I was coming up, like those were like the shit shows, right? Like you got to be at the Heat Wave. Heat Wave's gonna have like maybe 1,000, 2,000 cars there.
Mm-hmm.
It's so big, your car gets lost.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your car was at the Heat Wave, I didn't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of shit, right? Uh, the craziest thing has happened to me, dude. Like, check it out. So, uh, the owner of the Heat Wave car show, like the owner of it, says, "Hey, I want you to paint our Heat Wave van,
Mm-hmm.
like the actual van, right?"
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hell yeah, dude!" So I threw down a paint job on this van that was like the van, like it was the Heat Wave van, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, "Hey, did you take anything to Heat Wave?" Yeah, I did the van.
Mm-hmm.
Like what van? The Heat Wave van, like
Yeah.
the van, you know? It was that kind of shit, right? And so I was like, damn, it's just badass, you know? And that van's still around today and it still has my number on there, right? Crazy, right? And so then that was one thing that happened to me at a young age, right? And so I experienced that. And it's and I think that it's kind of like one of those things like uh I'm never satisfied, you know? And it's not like it's it's like it's not I don't think it's not a bad, like when I say I'm never satisfied, it's like yeah, we did the Heat Wave car show, it was a big deal, I did it, and so I'm like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh yeah, I made it, you know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, now what's next? Like what are we doing next? Like what are we what's the next obstacle,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And so that's just always the way I've been. Like, okay, what's next? Like, even to this day, like I'll do some big shit and I'll be like, okay, what's next? Like I'm the type of dude like if I won the lottery today with like 100 million, 200 million, like I'll be at work tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's who I am. I'll be like, hey, dude, tomorrow, like I'll see you in the morning. We gotta hit the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Don't forget about the podcast. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, and you'd be like, dude, like you just fucking like you don't have to do none of that. I'm like, dude, but like what, like it's fun, like you know,
Yeah.
like let's keep it going, like you know. That's how I am. Like I'm that dude that's gonna show. Okay, we won the lotto. Now what do we do? You know.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that happened, right? And so then a couple years later, uh, when we started paying this lowrider car, right? And what turned into like a small project turned into like a massive project. And I put a lot of time, energy, uh, just a lot, dude. I put a lot into that to building that car. And at the time, I didn't have a whole lot of help. Maybe me and two other dudes. But as the one doing a lot of the graphics, the airbrushing, the pinstriping, like a lot of it fell back on me because I was the guy. You know what I mean? Like I was the one that knew how to do all this shit. So it took me a while to build this car. Um, uh, we ended up taking it. We ended up win because you have to place to go to Vegas. Like you have to play like you have to place to make it over there, right?
Yeah.
So we got accepted to go to Vegas, right? And so we actually won first place, dude, at the Vegas Super Show for the car that we took,
Mm-hmm.
right? And dude, like that feeling was like crazy. Like I was like, dude, like we just won first place. Like the first time I've ever been out here, like we brought a car and we won first place. Like, you know, that's some
Mm-hmm.
shit, right? And I was like, dang, like it was cool, right? But then the same thing happened. I was like, okay, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, what's next? And so I was like, man, like like I don't want to do this forever. Like I don't want to be painting forever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and so uh the whole journey started with one of my friends saying, "Hey, have you heard of this podcast?" When YouTube was kind of jumping, right? It was Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you heard of Zig Ziglar.
No.
Huh? But it's You YouTube Zig Ziglar and play some of his
Oh, on here?
no on can you play it on there?
Maybe.
Play it on just do it on your phone.
All right.
If you're watching this on YouTube, man, the chat's on. Leave some chats. Also, show us some 100s. Give us some 100s. Hundos. Those are called hundos. Hundos, you know what? Hundos.
You got street talk now?
Is getting a reasonable number of the things money will buy. Now, money's not everything, but it's reasonably close to oxygen. I mean, you know, you just kind of got to have some of it. Admiral Hacker, I've had money, and I haven't had money. I'm here to tell you it is better to have it. Now, generally speaking, the things I like cost money. See, I like to wear nice clothes. It costs money. I like to drive a nice car, live in a nice house. I like to take that.
So one of my friends, he's like, hey, he's like, watch this guy on YouTube, and so, I'll be working, right, and I don't know if they had wireless headphones back then.
Back in the old days.
It wasn't that old, dude. It was what do we have?
Walkmans.
No, Walkmans. Boy.
No, there's like those things that would go around the neck.
Nah, I don't think I had those. I don't know what I had. It might have been just headphones, dude. With the wire on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I remember like I'll be working, I'll be listening to Zig Ziglar, dude. Like, and I just that's all I started to listen to was Zig Ziglar. I was Zig Ziglar. Like I would listen to all his speeches, everything, and like, you know, what it did was it opened me up to that growth mindset. You know, and so once you get open to having this growth mindset, then what happens is you start to get into personal development. You know, personal development is like self-help books, right? But then you go into skills. So for example, let's just say Zig Ziglar is gonna give you the mind shift, saying, hey, you know what, like you did flunk out of school, but so did Henry Ford. So you know, so did the Rockefellers. So did what's his name from SpaceX?
Oh, Elon.
Elon. Like how many times did he fail? You know what I mean? Like so people that say, oh, you know what, I'm just a failure. You know, like growing up, they just said I was a failure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they say, you know what, like Colonel Sanders, you know, failed 1,000,000 times, but the millionth and one or the thousandth and one is when he got the deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes you think, oh shit, you know what? Like I only failed, like I didn't even fail. They just said I was a failure. So technically I didn't even fail. But if this guy failed that many and he still made it, like what? That gives me a chance.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So Zig Ziglar like changed his perspective. So hearing that and not only hearing it but believing it. You know what I'm saying? So because once you believe it, then nothing gets in your way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like nothing gets in your way. So Zig Ziglar will get your mind right. You know, and says, hey, you know what? Like, yes, you failed, but the person that said you failed didn't accomplish anything in their life. So who are they to tell you that you're a failure?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So get back up, and that person that called you a failure, prove them wrong. In fact, prove everybody wrong now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it lights that fire up you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It lights that fire. That fire is what gets that momentum going. And then the books, the videos. So once you have the fire, the books, the video, the podcast, the video you're watching now, all we're doing is we're throwing like wood on that fire.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And we're throwing wood on that fire to the point where it's gonna be like it's gonna be untouchable. Like it's gonna be so fired up. Like it's gonna take like it's gonna be like the best way I can describe it is like those forest fires
Yeah.
that they can't put them out. They just gotta let them burn. They're
Yeah.
like, you know what? Like that dude's on fire. Like no one can put him out. Just let him. He's gonna have to. He'll figure it out. Like this dude's gonna go to the top. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna take everybody down.
Hmm.
So Zig Ziglar will get your mind right. The books, the podcast, everything will start to feed you. Uh, Compared to a garden, right? Say let's say you have a garden, and you don't do anything to the garden. What's gonna grow in the garden?
Weeds.
Weeds, right? Same thing with your mind, right? If you don't plant the seeds in your mind, like control those seeds. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because see, like if you don't control your own garden, other people will shit in your garden.
Yeah.
Other people will plant their bullshit in your garden. Other people will plant their weeds in your garden. They'll tell you shit that's not true. They'll make you believe something that's not true. They'll talk down on you. They'll tell you this. They'll tell you that. And all you gotta do is like nah, I'm not having it. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so you exit them out, and so pretty soon you're in control of what's going into your mindset. And when you control what's in your mindset, internally you have a clearer vision.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You have a clearer perspective on what you want to do. Because see, like if not, then you're fighting an inner battle. You're fighting. You're not fighting anybody. You're just fighting yourself. Because see, the inner battle happens. Like I know I'm just kind of going off, but like the inner battle happens because you want something, but you don't believe it.
Yeah.
And so every day you're fighting yourself. You're like, no, but this is what I want. And the back of your mind say, no, but this is not who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so the way that you fix that is you constantly reinforce it. No, this is who I am. Like this is what I'm going. This is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like you already like you're speaking like you're saying, nah, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I will do this.
Hmm.
I will do that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And not that you don't say I'm gonna try, because you're giving yourself an out. No, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're doing. Like we're gonna fucking grow this channel. We're gonna help a lot of people.
Hmm.
We're gonna change lives. We're gonna hype this thing up. Like we're gonna do some big things. Like
Yeah.
this is what we're gonna do. Like that's what I'm doing. Like this is what
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Like this is what we're doing. Like, you see, and so like I'm just gonna do it. So I'm not battling myself. Inside saying, "Oh, well, you should do it. What are people gonna say?" Because you don't know how to talk or whatever. Like you talk slang or whatever. Like I don't care. Like that's what I'm doing. And because see, it's not about the non-believers. It's about the people that need to hear this, and people that have failed and like, man, you know what? Like this dude, like he's speaking some real game, and I needed to hear this today because I was kind of gonna give up already.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
You think that's a
Facts.
wrap?
No, dude. What's the next?
Dude, you're going overtime.
What was your next question, man?
That was the last one of the day.
Oh, nice. So once again, hey, the Massive Action Podcast. We're here every Tuesday. Please, look, like, give us a subscribe if you haven't followed us yet. But we're gonna be coming live every Tuesday, and you can also go to stanmedina.com. There's actually a link there you can sign up to get on the Zoom webinar.
Yeah.
That we have those on Mondays. I'm looking to improve those to where like we have more interaction and people ask more questions. But for now, just if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I will answer your questions. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on. Why is it so lagging? You can reach out to me on.
Over here it's good.
Yeah, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I will get back to you on Instagram. So message me on Instagram. It's I want to say what's my Instagram? Anyway, if you can't find it, you can go to my link tree on top and you'll find all our information.
Also, TikTok with Massive Action with 2 M's.
Okay.
Let's see. The Mr. Massive Action.
The Mr. Massive Action. So hit us up on IG. We have a couple videos on TikTok, but like I said, if you have any questions, you can message me here on YouTube or Instagram, and I will reply back. And man, I appreciate it, man. Good
All right.
show. Till next time, guys. Massive Action.